Let's jump into Module 10 of our management accounting class on capital budgeting. Capital budgeting is like long-term investing for a company. They're planning how to tie up their long-term funds. Which projects should they tackle? Which projects shouldn't they tackle? That is a capital budgeting problem. And two concepts we'll introduce in this video that we'll also introduce in the chapter are payback period and net present value. So when I think of payback period, I think of gym memberships. This is a screenshot. I actually did buy a gym membership this year. I haven't gotten many comments commenting on my physique, but it is impressive, and it's I'm bulking up. I'm getting bigger, stronger. I'm not, but anyway. So I am, of course, an adult, and as I contemplate my gym membership, I wanted to use a red pen. I always look at this like trade-off, right? Single admission versus annual pass. And there's a little calculation you can do if you're thinking, oh, maybe I'll get an annual pass, and probably you do it and I do it as well. I take that single admission or the annual pass amount, $452.05, and this is my real gym. I divide by 8.6. That's the cost per one entry, so I can get unlimited gym use for $452 for a year, or I can just pay $8 every time I go, $860. And the answer here is 52.5. So if I go more than 52.5 times or 52.6 times, the gym membership kind of pays for itself, right? The annual membership has paid off if I go more than 52 times. So if I go 100 times, I get amazing value out of my gym membership because it only costs me $450 per time. If I go 20 times, I got a bad deal on the gym membership. So every time anybody buys a pass of any description, they'll do a quick calculation like that to decide if the gym membership's worth it for them. By the way, I don't want to brag. I have been 6 times so far. I got to go a lot, right? It's once a week basically, and I've been like once, maybe once a month. So I'm behind schedule on my own gym membership usage. But that little calculation is one that we all do. Well, when a company makes an investment, they don't say how many times am I going to the gym. They say how many years is it going to take if everything goes according to plan? How many years is it going to take for this investment to pay off? And we call that the payback period. So they do a very similar calculation. It's a very straightforward calculation, as you will see, to figure out, well, when is this thing going to pay off? And the idea is like, look, this 52 times, if this number was like 30 times, it's way easier to buy the gym membership. If this number was like 200 times, it makes it harder to want to buy the gym membership. And so companies will do that, and they'll go, hey, if I have a project with a payback period of 3 years, that for some reason might be more attractive. Well, I'll tell you the reason. Might be more attractive than a payback period of 5 years, right? Getting a payback from your project in 3 years might be more attractive than 5 years because it's less risky. The money's coming back to you a lot more quickly. So companies will use payback period to evaluate investments. A fundamental concept we'll get introduced to is net present value, NPV, net present value. And if and when you take a corporate finance course or a finance course or what else, the financial management, sometimes they call it, if you take a course of that subject, like this is the star. When you take a physics class, Isaac Newton is the star of that class, you'll learn. If you take intro physics, if you take intro finance, net present value will be the star of that class. And the idea is any investment is just a series of cash flows, right? You get money to make the investment, you got to spend money at the start, and then over time, hopefully whatever you buy, maybe it's a new piece of equipment or maybe it's an actual investment, it brings money back to you. So, but the idea here is it happens over a long time frame, years, and so we have to evaluate that there's time value in here that isn't in most of our management accounting questions, right? The fact that something might take years and years and years to pay back, well, the years and years and years count for something, and net present value captures that. And it captures that with this formula, present value. The idea being, if I give you $10,000 today and say, or if you give me $10,000 today and I say, I'll pay you back the $10,000 in 10 years, you would say, Well, you're going to need to pay me more than that because $10,000 10 years from now isn't worth the same as $10,000 today. And so we have to discount those future cash flows. Money 10 years from now is not worth the same thing as money today. And this is the formula. The present value of money, so money today, is worth the future value divided by 1 plus a discount rate. Now, this is, a percentage, 5%, is it 10%? Typically, it's the rate at which the company can borrow money. So if they can borrow money at 8%, they might use 8% here. It's more complicated than that. If you take a finance course with me and Google my name in finance, you'll see I go through its weighted average cost of capital. WACC is how this rate gets derived for many companies. T is the number of years. But in these questions in our management categories, the R will just be given. In fact, the FV will be given, so everything but PV will be given. And here's a typical example, maybe a shorthand example, and I think it'll explain what's going on here. I invest $20,000 today and will receive $11,000 at the end of this year and next. Okay, so I'm going to receive $11,000 this year and next. That's $22,000. You go, okay, if I give you 20 grand today, you're going to give me $22,000 over the next 2 years. If time value of money meant nothing, you'd go, yeah, I'll take the deal. I'm $2,000 ahead. But of course, it's not an obvious yes or no decision here. We might want to crunch some numbers and use this formula to crunch those numbers. So here's how I want you to approach these problems. I want you to do a timeline. So at time 0, year 0, we're going to give up $20,000. At year 1, we're going to receive $11,000. And at year 2, we're going to receive $11,000. So is this a deal worth taking? Well, we just sum up the cash flows. Negative 20 plus 11 plus 11. The issue is we have to discount them to be present value. How much is cash flow in a year worth at time 0? So here's the math. For every one of these, we take, this is the future value, we divide by 1 plus our discount rate. I've just arbitrarily chosen 8%, so 1.08 to the power of t. What's the time? Well, at time 0, it's 0. And you'll see, actually, I got to switch this to scientific. 1.08 to the power of x to the y is to the power of, so x to the y 0 is just 1. So it's negative 20,000 divided by 1. And negative 20,000 divided by 1 is negative 20,000. So you can see this first one at time 0, you don't have to do any of the math. You just go, okay, what's the cash flow at time 0? But anyway, it's just wanted to show you how it works. So this one is divided by 1.08 to the power of 1. And this one is going to be divided by 1.08 to the power of 2. So let's do the year 1, 11,000 divided by 1.08. Y to the x1. Now again, 1.08 to the power of 1 is just 1.08. I don't have to put the to the power of 1 in my calculator, but I'm just showing you how to do it without skipping anything, and it's 10185. Okay, so this is 10185, and so that was negative 20. The present value of that $11,000 a year from now is $10,185 today. The present value of the next one, 11,000 divided by 1.08 squared, 1.08 xy2 to the power of 2 is 9431. So what's the present value of all these payments? Well, the present value of negative 20 today is negative 20 because it's today. The present value of 11,000 a year from now is 10,185. The present value of 11,000 2 years from now is 9431. What is the net present value, the overall present value of all of this? The fundamental concept of finance courses, it does get more complicated, but this is, introducing it. What is the net present value of all of these cash flows? Add them together. You just go, okay, 20,000 negative plus 10185 plus 9431. We end up at a negative $384. So the question is, should I do this $20,000 investment? And the answer is no, it's not worth it. It's a negative net present value. So the game plan on paper isn't good. Now, if the discount rate was, 5%, I think we would do it. It would be positive net present value. And the rule of thumb in these courses, in finance or accounting course, is if the net present value is positive at all, you do it. If it's negative, you don't. That's sort of your decision criteria. All right. We will, in this chapter, do somewhat more complicated problems on payback and net present value. And if you're looking for just a course on this, search my name in corporate finance. I can't wait to get started. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
The next video in our series is right up here, and if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.